William was a quiet boy. He didn't talk. He didn't smile. He didn't look people in the eyes. At just 10 years old, William had already built a wall around himself. Nobody knew why he stayed so silent. Some people said he had a sad past. Others thought he just didn't like anyone. But the truth was, William was scared of the world. He went to school every day but never raised his hand. He never played with other kids. He ate his lunch alone, sitting in the corner. The teachers tried to help, but William never answered. His parents were worried, but doctors said his body was fine. It was his heart that was hurting, though no one could see it. Then one day, everything changed. It was a bright Monday morning when a new student arrived. Her name was Kate. She had shiny brown hair, big bright eyes, and the widest smile anyone had seen. But there was something different about her. Kate was in a wheelchair. When Kate entered the classroom, everyone stared. Some kids whispered, some were just curious. But Kate didn't seem shy at all. She waved and said hello to the whole class. Then she saw William. He was sitting at his usual spot. Quiet, eyes down, hands folded. Kate smiled at him. "Hi, I'm Kate," she said with joy. William didn't answer. He didn't even look at her. Kairai. Teacher Miss Elaine introduced Kate to the class and gave her a seat right next to William. That day, Kate tried to talk to him during reading time. "I like stories," she said. "Do you?" William blinked but stayed quiet. The next day, Kate came with a small drawing of a cat. She placed it gently on William's desk. "This is for you," she whispered. William looked at the picture. It was messy but colorful. His eyes stayed on it for a few seconds longer than usual. Still, he said nothing. For many days, Kate kept trying. She would smile at William, talk to him, and give him little gifts, stickers, colorful erasers, and drawings. William never spoke, but he started watching her more. He began to sit a little closer. One afternoon, Kate brought her favorite toy to class. It was a small red robot with one eye. She called it Beep. She showed it to William during recess. "This is Beep," she said. "He doesn't talk much either, but he's still my best friend." William looked at Beep. His fingers twitched, like he wanted to touch it. But he didn't. After recess, something sad happened. Beep fell from Kate's desk and broke. One of its arms came off, and the head popped open. Kate gasped and looked around. Nobody saw who did it, but she looked. Heartbroken, William watched quietly. His eyes followed her as she picked up the broken toy and tried to fix it. That night, William stayed up in his room. He looked at the little robot he had picked up when no one was watching. He took out glue, tape, and small tools. His hands moved, slowly, carefully. He had fixed things before at home. He knew how to make things better. The next morning, Kate came to class with sad eyes. She sat down and opened her desk. Inside was Beep, the robot, completely fixed. Kate's mouth opened wide in surprise. She held Beep up and looked around. Then she saw William. He was sitting at his desk watching her with his head slightly lifted. Their eyes met for the first time. Kate smiled. "Thank you," she whispered. William didn't say anything. But for the first time ever, his lips curled into a small, soft smile. The whole class didn't notice. The teacher didn't see it. But in that moment, something beautiful began. Two hearts, one silent and one shining, had finally found each other. Days turned into weeks. William still didn't speak, but something in him was different. He started watching the world more. He followed Kate with his eyes. When she laughed, he almost smiled. When she showed him a drawing, he would nod softly. The wall around William was still there, but now a small door had opened. Kate never gave up. She kept talking to William, telling him little stories and showing him new pictures. She read out loud near him during library time. Sometimes William would move his chair just a little closer to hers. Then came the day of the field trip. The class was excited. They were going to visit a big park outside the city. It had flowers, tall trees, and a small animal farm. Everyone packed lunches and wore colorful jackets. Kate was smiling brightly as always. William didn't show emotion, but he packed his backpack carefully and came to school on time. He sat beside Kate on the school bus. The ride was bumpy, but she talked the whole way. "You'll love the goats," she said. "They make silly sounds." William listened. His hands stayed still, but his eyes followed her face the whole time. At the park, everything started fine. Kids ran around. Teachers gave safety rules. Kate was happy to be near nature. Her wheelchair moved slowly over the dirt paths. William stayed close. But soon dark clouds appeared in the sky. Miss Elaine looked up. "We might have to leave early," she said. The air became heavy. A strong wind came through the trees. The sky turned gray. Suddenly, loud thunder shook the ground. Then came heavy rain. "Everyone back to the buses," shouted a teacher. Kids screamed and ran. The dirt paths turned to mud. Trees swayed. Lunchboxes dropped. William turned to look for Kate. She was stuck. Her wheelchair wheel was deep in the mud. She was trying to move it, but it wouldn't budge. "Help!" Kate called out. Her voice was scared. No one heard her in the storm, except William. He stood still for a moment. Rain soaked his clothes. His shoes slipped in the wet ground. But he looked at Kate, and something strong rose inside him. He ran. His small feet splashed in the mud as he reached her. Kate was crying now, trying to push the wheels. William didn't speak. He didn't panic. He just bent down and grabbed the handles of the wheelchair. It was hard. The mud was thick and sticky. His arms shook. His legs slipped. But he pulled. Kate held onto her chair tightly as William dragged it out inch by inch. Suddenly, a teacher saw them and rushed over. Together, she and William moved Kate onto the dry path and pushed her quickly toward the shelter. When they reached the bus stop, the teacher gave them towels. Kate was breathing hard. Her hair was wet. Her hands were cold. William sat beside her, water dripping from his jacket. His face was tired, but calm. Kate looked at him. Her eyes were full of tears, but not from fear. "You came back for me," she whispered. William looked at her. For the first time, he nodded clearly. He still didn't speak, but his actions were louder than any words. After the stormy field trip, something changed between William and Kate. Their friendship was no longer quiet. It was strong, even if few words were spoken. Kate told her parents how William saved her. William's mother cried when she heard. For the first time, she saw her son do something brave, something kind. She hugged him tightly. William didn't say anything, but he stayed in her arms longer than usual. At school, William was still quiet, but he now sat beside Kate every day. He helped her carry books. He pushed her chair when the path was bumpy. When Kate laughed, he smiled a little. The wall inside him was slowly falling. One day, Kate got sick. Her mother said it was from the rain and cold during the field trip. She had a high fever and needed to stay in the hospital for a few days. William noticed her empty seat the next morning. He didn't say anything, but his eyes stayed on the chair all day. He missed her. In the library, he sat alone. During lunch, he didn't eat. When he got home, he sat by the window and drew pictures of her robot toy, Beep, and the park they had visited. On the last page, he drew a picture of Kate smiling. The next day, Kate came back. Her face was pale, but she smiled just the same. The whole class was happy to see her. Miss Elaine said, "Let's welcome Kate back with a small party." Tomorrow, everyone clapped. The next day, balloons were hung, music played, and snacks were shared. Kids laughed and danced. Even teachers smiled. Kate entered the room slowly. She was wearing a yellow dress and had a flower pin in her hair. William's eyes lit up when he saw her, but not everyone was kind. A group of students near the back whispered and laughed. "Why is she even here?" One boy muttered, "She can't even walk." Another girl giggled. Kate heard them. Her smile faded. Her hands tightened on the arms of her wheelchair. She looked down, trying not to cry. William was watching. His eyes moved from Kate's face to the kids who were laughing. His chest felt heavy. Something boiled inside him, a feeling he didn't understand. Then something amazing happened. William stood up. No one noticed at first. He walked across the room slowly. The music played in the background, but all he heard was the sound of Kate's soft breathing. He stopped in front of her. Then he did something no one had seen him do before. He reached out and held her hand. The room froze. A few kids gasped. Even the teacher stopped moving. Kate looked up, shocked. William looked into her eyes. His lips opened. "Don't listen to them," he said softly. The room went silent. People looked at each other, surprised. Did William just speak? Miss Elaine's eyes filled with tears. Some students put their hands over their mouths. Kate smiled, her eyes wet with emotion. She squeezed his hand gently. "Thank you," she whispered. William didn't say anything else. He didn't need to. His hand, warm and steady in hers, said everything. From that moment, something shifted in the class. The ones who laughed before now looked down, ashamed. The room that once ignored William now saw him clearly. After that special day, the day William held Kate's hand and spoke his first words, the school was never the same again. People looked at William differently now. He was no longer just the quiet boy who sat in the corner. He was the boy who stood up for his friend. He was the boy who showed what real courage looked like. Kate's smile became even brighter. William didn't speak much after that, but when he did, his voice was soft and kind. He still liked to stay quiet, but now he would nod, answer short questions, and help Kate without being asked. Soon the school decided to hold a Kindness Day assembly. The teachers wanted students to talk about friendship, courage, and standing up for others. Miss Elaine quietly asked William and Kate if they wanted to say something on stage. Kate said yes quickly. William looked unsure. His hands shook a little. "You don't have to speak," Miss Elaine said gently. "But if you do, everyone would listen." William thought about it all night. He remembered the first time Kate talked to him. He remembered the storm, the mud, the way he pulled her out. He remembered the kids laughing at her, and how he couldn't stay silent anymore. He looked at the little picture he had drawn of Kate smiling, and he knew what he had to do. The day of the assembly arrived. All the students sat in the school hall. Teachers stood along the walls. Parents came too. The stage was decorated with colorful paper hearts and big words. Kindness can change everything. One by one, students went up and shared stories. Then Miss Elaine called out, "Now we'd like to welcome William and Kate." The room became quiet. Kate rolled onto the stage first. William walked beside her. He looked nervous, but he stood tall. Kate smiled at the audience. "Hi, I'm Kate," she said. "And this is my best friend, William." A few claps echoed softly. Kate spoke first. "When I came to this school, I didn't know anyone. I was scared people would only see my wheelchair, but William saw me, just me." She paused. "I talked to him every day, even when he said nothing, and then one day, during the storm, he came back for me. He saved me." People listened carefully. William didn't speak for a long time, but when he did, he said something beautiful. He told me not to listen to mean words. He held my hand, and he made me feel strong again. She turned to William. Now it was his turn. William stepped forward slowly. He held the paper he had written at home. His hands were shaking, his lips trembled. Then he looked at Kate and smiled. He began to speak. "I used to live in silence," he said. "I didn't talk because the world felt too loud. I was scared of people. But one person wasn't scared of me." He looked at the audience. "Kate talked to me when I had no voice. She waited for me when I was slow. She smiled at me when I couldn't smile." He paused. "I spoke because she showed me love." The room was silent. A few teachers wiped their eyes. Parents held hands. Students stared with open hearts. William took a deep breath. If someone near you is quiet, don't walk away. Sit with them, talk to them, be kind. You might be the one who brings back their voice. The audience stood and clapped. The sound filled the hall. People cried, smiled, and hugged. William and Kate stood side by side, hands together. From that day on, their story was shared all around the town. Some people said it was just a school story, but those who watched that moment, the moment William held her hand and spoke, knew it was much more. It was the story of how friendship saved a boy. It was the story of how kindness gave him his voice back. And it was the story that reminded everyone, even the smallest acts can change a life forever. William's words reached hundreds that day, but his silence had already said so much. When he finally spoke, it wasn't loud, it wasn't long, but it was real. And real words, even few, can break the deepest walls. What about you? Have you ever been someone's Kate? Have you ever needed a friend like William? Who would you reach out to if you knew they were hiding behind silence? Stories like these remind us, some hands are held not to pull someone forward, but to lift them out of the dark. So, whose hand will you hold today?